That however tells you almost nothing. Check 2 moments instead. The first 10 minutes and contentment. This is the first 10 minutes after you leave and the last 10 before you come back. Do that on 3 ordinary days. Container. Write down what that's not what you think she feels. Seals is contentment because 3 records can start with the exact same quiet frame and point to 3 completely different next steps. Kate high the grooming, Slenthorn calcogrooms and settles on the windowsill within minutes. Another paces at the door for 5 minutes straight before stopping. Confident contentment. A third isn't reacting to the door at all. She's over grooming a bare spot and ignoring her food. Same quiet rug frame on the camera app. 3 very different things happening underneath. This is not a tabins. It is not a diagnostic test. If not, it won't tell you if your cat has separation anxiety or how much she misses you. It's in contentment. It's a visible behavior record. And the next step depends entirely on which of these 3 your notes look like. In the first example, confidence and contentment. Your departure record looks like this. The cat grooms briefly, walks to a window, dens and contentment, and lies down with her weight fully resting on the surface. Without dens. Term record. She stretches in the hallway about 10 minutes before you come back. Maybe she moves to the entry. Kendame, maybe she doesn't. Across 3 days, the 2 windows look roughly the same. That record suggests a stable solo routine. Confident that the cat transitions into her own schedule and transitions out of it with minor variation. The second example looks different. Contempensa contentment. In the departure window, the cat paces between the door and the window. She might vocalize or paw near the frame for several minutes. The contentment. Then she stops, finds a spot, and eventually settles. In the return window, she's already positioned near the entry before you arrive. Across 3 days, this departure reaction repeats, but eating, grooming, and settling happen normally in between. Contentment. What you're seeing is a reaction that's to the specific moment of departure. It's concentrated in the first window. Confident can still attend at a contentment. It doesn't extend then through the whole day. The third example isn't about the door at all. The cat hat is over, grooming a specific spot. You can see bare skin. The food bowl hasn't been touched since morning. Contentment. Or she's vocalizing at scattered time throughout the day, long and after departure, and long before return. These changes aren't locked to a departure window. It's a clear signal of contentment. They're showing up across the entire record, and they may not be related to you leaving at all. Pinzi contentment. Before we talk about what to do with these records, one assumption needs to break. A sleeping cat isn't automatically a fine cat. Consmi contentment. And if nativity sometimes just reflects a space that doesn't offer much to interact with. The contentment. And the cat sitting near the door for a few minutes after you leave isn't automatically distressed. It's 7th and contentment. This is why a single camera check can mislead you. One image catches a random moment, a deep nap, a burst of energy. It's a clear signal of confidence and contentment. A trip to the water bowl, and you draw a conclusion from a frame that doesn't represent the pattern. Then the 3-day record exists to replace that single frame with a comparison. If the same behavior is repeat across 3 departure windows and 3 return windows, you're looking at something closer to a baseline. Contentment, if they're scattered and inconsistent, that has a different kind of information and it's still useful. Be in contentment, because it tells you there isn't a fixed pattern to act on yet. Contentment, if your 3-day record looks like that first example, ordinary settling, you probably don't need to change anything. The cat is moving through a predictable solo routine. Don't add complicated leaving rituals. With your confidence and contentment, don't worry if she doesn't race to the door when you get back. Let her keep the structure she's already built. But in there just thinking employment. But ordinary settling also doesn't mean she's thriving. It means the routine is stable. If you want to test whether she'd engage more. Contentment. You can try adding one low-cost enrichment item, a puzzle feeder, a paper bag left open on the floor. Here's the contentment. And see whether the departure record changes over the next few days. You're not fixing a problem. Whether the environment has room to improve. Contentment. If the record looks like that second example, a concentrated departure reaction, you have some room to experiment. But I want to be careful about what means here. The separation-related behavior research that informs this topic is largely survey-based. And the study most relevant to home alone cats used owner questionnaires, and the authors noted that some of their own criteria were set arbitrarily. against clinical outcomes that found that departure and arrival behaviors were loaded onto separate dimensions. They weren't one single anxiety measure. That's useful content, but igdeni ping, and doesn't prove that any specific intervening, including a calm departure, will reliably change the cat's reaction. So when I say, try a flat departure, I mean it as a low-risk observation, not a proven treatment. And pick up your contentment. And pick up your keys, put on your shoes, walk out without a long goodbye. Cure contentment. Then check the departure window over the next few days and see if the pacing duration changes. Confidence, content. If it shortens or stays the same, you have one small data point. If it doesn't change after a week, it's a clear signal of confidence and contentment. Or if the reaction gets more intense, that's information too, and it may be time to talk to a vet. As the with that third example, appetite changes, eliminate outside the box, persistent over grooming or vocalizing throughout the day. Stop looking for behavioral adjustments. These are not departure problems. They could be pain, illness, or something environmental that the camera can't see. Confidence and content, then that real goes to a veterinary assessment first. And if the vet rules out medical causes, but the broader changes continue, contentment. The next step is a qualified feline behavior professional, not more camera watching, not more puzzle feeders, not more internet advice. The key to being confident. The observation record doesn't become a treatment plan. It becomes information you bring to someone who can assess the cat directly. Environmental guidelines for intercat support familiar, predictable surroundings, and safe opportunities for mental engagement, puzzle feeders, elevated resting spots, window access. That part is what it's established. What the research doesn't tell us is how many hours is universally safe. Was there a particular reducers, a particular cat's beauty section? Containment, or whether the 3-day window I've described captures enough data to be reliable for every household. It's a starting point. Comment. A structured way to from 1, I feel guilty when I leave. 2, I can describe what my cat actually does. Go into the sea. Some cats will produce records that don't fit any of the 3 examples. Confidence and contentment. They might pace on one day and settle perfectly the next. They might show departure activation in the morning, but not in the evening. A mixed or inconsistent record doesn't mean you failed the exercise. Or confidence and contentment. It means the pattern isn't fixed, and you might need more than 3 days or different windows to see something stable. Contentment. Pardis. That cat on the rug. The one who looked fine in the camera app. Maybe she is fine. Contentment. Maybe that frame is one quiet moment inside a departure pattern you haven't tracked yet. The record won't tell you what she feels. It can list anything, but it replaces a guess with an observation you can repeat, compare, and if needed, confidence and contentment, hand to a vet or a qualified behavior professional who can do something with it. Set up the notebook tomorrow. Confidence and contentment. Watch the first 10 minutes after you leave and the last 10 minutes before you come back. 3 ordinary days. I'm confidence and contentment. If you find a clear pattern or a completely messy one, I'd like to hear which it is. The thing from the conscience that they different contentment. There's a difference in way cats process the people in their house, and it has to do with how you sound. Contentment, but we'll get to that next time.